So I'll call the meeting to order at 7:01, and we'll start by saying the pledge.
States of America. To the republic which stands one nation under God.
Great. Down here, attendance, appointment of alternates, we are all here as regular members tonight, so we don't need to appoint an alternate. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Discussion, all in favor? Opposed? She carries. Then we're going to approve the minutes of Board of Finance meeting, January 15th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Finance meeting of January 15th, 2025.
Second. Any discussion, corrections, or anything like that? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
I'll abstain because I wasn't there.
Okay. Right, you weren't. Public participation, room cleared out. Guess they're not in person, but that's okay. Communications, I have none. Amy?
I have none.
None? Okay. Wow, these are- Drops us down to 8A, town financial reports.
I don't think there's anything specific I want to talk about. There's a few transfers coming, a few more coming next month. But overall, I think everything is just fine. Our tax collections at 96% after our January collections. We've gotten half of the ECS money. So we've gotten a total of 2.7 million out of our 5.4, which was talked about briefly in their presentation about the offset to their budget because it comes in through the general fund. I don't think there's anything that we're worried about for building or conveyance or interest. I think those numbers are all good numbers as of right now. Anybody have any questions on revenue? Expenditures, I have two transfers tonight, the $1,500 for the food for the registrars because they're already out of money. And we still have 4 days of early voting tied to the Broadbrook Fire Commissioner because we didn't get that ordinance changed. So we will be holding early voting for just the unopposed Broadbrook Fire officer. And we'll have the first budget referendum will be May 14th.
There's no way to waive that because they're on. There's no.
Well, it's an ordinance. So Jay brought it forward wanting to change it and it got nixed because they felt like they were taking away the taxpayer's voice by not having it be a vote, having it be a Board of Selectmen appointment instead.
But he's unopposed.
He's not opposed, it just.
Yeah, but he might not be at some future date. I mean,
Yeah, but for this budget.
but they tried to change the ordinance and they were not successful.
There's no way, like, when it's an unopposed.
Nope.
Just-
The ordinance says what the ordinance is, so. Yeah, so we'll be paying for early voting for an unopposed spot. And last year, nobody came in the 4 days of early voting, not a single person for that same position. A different person a year ago. So
That's.
unfortunately, it is what it is. There is no early voting tied to budget. And there were a lot of unhappy people that showed up there thinking they were going to get to vote on the budget and got told, no, they could not vote on the budget. So, but no, so that just has to stay because that's the way the ordinance is written. Obviously, never intending it was going to be unopposed.
And okay, sorry. And there's not a way for us to allow budget voting for early voting?
No.
Since we're doing that.
That's not how early voting
Okay.
was set up. Budget referendums are not part of early voting, just elections.
Okay.
Anything else, Amy?
Nope. Unless anybody has any questions.
Anybody have any notes they saw when they flipped through? Okay. Okay.
Nothing really substantial to report. Here. It is what might do our projections. Weeks in March, for our board finance subcommittee and board of ed, and then we very the FY 26 budget, so don't really have anything to report right now. Specifically.
Anybody? Nope. That goes us to 24-25 transfers. Somewhere.
Last page of your package.
No, nothing. So do I have a motion for transfer request number 24?
I will transfer $1,500 from contingency line to recognition to cover the cost of an employee retreat and recognition.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. It's pretty self-explanatory as to what it is. Any other questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of transfer request number 24, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 25. You have a motion?
Make a motion for transfer number 25, registers, transfer $1,500 from line item contingency to cover the food costs for early voting.
I just have a
Can we
question.
bring our own food? I'm sorry.
That's, yeah, I was just kind of going that same way. I understand, the days of the major elections, that on the election day, when there's everyone come to the room that we supply food to our people, because they don't, have time to, whatever. But when you do an early voting and all that stuff, I mean, it's like a job. I bring my lunch to my job at that point.
I think you should have that discussion when the registrars come before you for their budget.
And that's what I need to hear.
Because when we met with them, their thought is, we're asking these people to come here for 16 hours or 9 hours or 13 hours, depending on what the day is. And that's the least we can do is feed them,
But we,
is their feeling.
they get paid.
Yes, they do. Yep. So I think you should ask that question of the registrars when they come.
I think that's a legitimate thing if they're volunteers.
We asked them the same thing.
If they're volunteers, I agree.
Well, they've never been volunteers.
Yeah.
They've always been paid.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get it. Again, I do get it to an extent, right? Like, I know I've worked election. It's nice to not have to worry about, your food, but I mean, also, so I mean, you can bring it home too if I had to. I wouldn't complain if I was told that I needed to bring my.
We thought they should do it for early voting days,
Yeah.
bring their own
Yeah, that's what that's
lunch
the point.
versus the
I just-
elections themselves.
Just because there's so much more of it now.
But we did not win that battle, either with the last two registrars or with the current two.
But like I said, to me, like I said, on election day, the major election days, I have no problem with that. I mean, those are busy days, but I mean, like I said, when I went down to do early voting, it's just like, I mean, you probably got enough people here that someone go grab lunch, do whatever you want to do, but I understand that it's here, it's just like, wow, so, okay, well, guess we can have that discussion with them, do the budget or look at it in the budget and
Yeah.
go from there. So anyway, any further discussion?
Did we vote?
No, we're gonna do that right now.
Okay.
Seeing none, all those in favor of transfer request number 25 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Did we already cover this?
It's already done.
It's already, I approved it, then it happened. Moving on.
Yeah, this is already spent money. All right, motion carries. Okay, whoops, that's gone. All right, so reconciliations, Amy?
We are good through January.
All right,
We're good through December. We are,
very good. Board of Selectmen,
So both the Board of Selectmen and Board of Ed will not be here tonight because they are across the street at one of their facilities study ad hoc group about the school buildings.
Yep.
You don't have Patrick's report, right?
I'm sorry.
Do you have a report for Patrick? Oh, okay. You can then.
So,
I do not have one for Jay.
okay, that's fine.
no, it's just a couple of points to touch on. So, the first thing was, that the boys and girls basketball, teams were playing in the conference playoffs. We heard that the girls won yesterday, the boys and girls were playing tonight. Unfortunately, we did find out just 2 minutes ago, the girls did lose.
Oh.
Unfortunately, but it was the number 1 team, Coventry, so it was a good effort there. And then next week they're playing, they're playing in the state championships, I believe. So, we'll keep them in our thoughts. And then the other thing was just to let everyone know that at the high school auditorium next Tuesday at 5:30, we're hosting Representative Jamie Foster And a number of superintendents and everyone is coming to hear about House Bill 5001, which is to kind of increase special education funding. So it's a kind of a form there. There will be drinks and refreshments. So if anyone wants to hop in there, should be pretty impressed. State funding. So those are the two items.
Ryan, what's the date on that again?
Sorry.
The date?
Two.
25.
Confirmed, Tuesday, the 25th at 5:30 to 7 at the high school auditorium. It is open to the general public. Like I said, I know they, Representative Foster's, reached out, we kind of coordinated it. Some superintendents are coming, some other, I guess are also.
Very good, thank you. All right, moving on, new business there.
One more question for Ryan.
Yes.
Are we gonna get a report on this ad hoc committee for the schools, or how is that working? Or Amy?
That
I have no
That
idea.
is a great question.
I do ask this question.
Yeah, no, I sat in on the last couple of them. I know there's been a lot of discussion on that. And I think that was part of what's going on tonight is to kind of determine where either a draft report or a report or how that's going to move forward. So I'm sure that is coming. I don't have an update on.
Oh, I have.
All right, no problem. Any other questions? All right, move on. New business, there is none listed.
None?
And unfinished business, I think we're good in that department. Board member comments?
Oh, I have one.
Yep.
I was gonna say, so just listening to Noreen talk, I'm just wondering, when we present out the budget, like, I kind of like for $1 a day, like, this is what you're getting or whatever, like. Just wondering if there's a way for us to kind of present it, instead of just a percentage or a mill rate, like for, this much a year, you're gonna get this or this, and like kind of breaking it out. Because I just find it interesting that people will donate to a cause, like, I can ask a stranger for money right now for a cause and they'll give it to me, right? But to get it for our goods and services and things that kind of help, like, I don't know why it's so much more difficult. So I just almost wonder if we're breaking it out that way, if maybe we could present it, just a thought, that just was catchy to me.
Well, arts and culture gets what they ask for.
Right.
So it's very interesting, her take on it, that we should be giving them more because they've never even approached us about getting more.
Yeah.
Like, that's not enough. We
Yeah.
really need 10,000 or we really need 15,000. I mean, that's never even been approached.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like in general for everything, like even, for this much, a year, when you call, 911, you're gonna get service in this amount of time or whatever it is. Like, I just kind of think like, maybe breaking it out a little bit differently for the taxpayer could be helpful.
And that is available on that transparency website stuff.
Okay.
It's not available, I don't think, in the budget form, but you could tell how much each unit costs.
Yeah.
Like how much your police services of your taxes you're paying. You put in what your taxes are and they tell you how much is going to school versus how much is going to police.
Yeah,
So,
maybe just even reiterating that that's out there then.
Yeah.
for the taxpayer.
Maybe we should put that in the letter that goes out or the mailer that goes out, that this is a good tool for the taxpayer.
okay.
I mean, that,
Just to say that
it's just another tool.
that's
Yeah.
available to look at. This is
Right.
the link or whatever. Not really a link if it's in print, but to the.
Yeah, no, I like that though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments from the board? All right, listed below are our next meeting dates, March 19th being our regular meeting. And our budget season starts March 26th with the public hearing and a budget workshop afterwards, followed by the 27th first, 7th, and possibly the 14th.
Start times on all of these?
They're all-
7 o'clock.
7 on for all of them, okay, except for the public hearing, is that at 6?
No,
That's at 7?
7.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna make a note beforehand, and I talked to Amy about this. On March 26th, the day of our public hearing, and we kind of put a week hearing of but workshop in that night. I actually have tickets to a concert at the Broadbrook Opera House that night that were bought back in October before the dates came out, and I didn't kind of catch that one quick enough. So I will be here for the workshop, for the public hearing, and then we'll do a budget workshop we'll get as far as we can, and then around 8 o'clock or so, the concert starts today, but I don't care if I'm not right there when it starts. So, but we'll go as far as we can, and then we'll just come out earlier, and then some of the items will be carried over to the following week, because they're simple ones. Just as a note on that night, it'll be a quicker meeting.
We'll be out of here before 8 o'clock.
We're over at 8 o'clock anyway, because I just gotta go from here to there, so that's, but,
And, I know it's just if needed, but the week of April 14th, we have a regular meeting that week too. I will be out of town. So just to note that.
Then I'll just end, the April 7th, I will be on a work trip, so I'll be out of town.
So we need to get this done right away.
Right away.
That's why, maybe that's for the best then, right?
Well, the 7th is,
Presentation.
community services
Yeah.
and all DPW. So our meetings are, the first night, we just have a few that are mostly Jason's
yeah,
and some of mine. And then the next night, we have all the town offices, a couple of the outside agencies and the PD. On the 27th, and on the 1st, it's both Broadbrook Fire and the Board of Ed. So the 7th, we didn't have a choice but to push. With the 4B groups that we have, I really can't combine more than 2 on one night. So that only leaves us the 27th, the 1st, and the 7th. So there are meetings through the 7th with presentations. So the 14th is really probably going to be needed, because it's really going to be our go over the whole budget, because we'll have already had presentations from all the Parks and Rec and all the DPW stuff. So. That, the 14th and the 16th are actually school vacation week.
Yeah.
all right. Any other chunk in the? See none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Is there anything? You get to go outside and make cold weather now.
I'm over the cold.
Yeah.
I think the ice cream plan was strong.
Jason and Patrick at school.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you still leave recording?
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.